Now I want you to imagine yourself 40 years in the future. Now obviously you're driving your brand new Lamborghini to your high paying job, but you realize you need gas. So you go to the gas station and this is what you see. Now this is obviously not a picture from the future, this is from the 1970s gas crisis, but this could be where we're heading if we continue to use fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are non-renewable energy. There is a limited amount of them, but we continue to rely on it instead of looking at the giant ball of energy in the sky. My name is Andrew Stigler, and as a freshman in electrical engineering, I've always been fascinated by solar power and its ability, or potentially have the ability, to save us from an energy crisis in the future. The cost and inefficiency of solar panels do not allow us to take full advantage of the potential solar energy. Throughout this talk, I will be telling you about why solar energy is so great and why we need to go away from fossil fuels. Then I'll be talking to you about how solar panels work, and finally, I'm going to explain the problem with the current technology of solar panels. So first, let's talk about why solar energy is so important. So you can see in this graph, this is a graph that shows the solar energy brought to the US in units of kilowatts per meter squared per day. Kilowatts per hour per meter squared per day. So to put this into perspective, an academic article by MIT explained that the average home takes in about 48 kilowatts per hour per day. So if we wanted to make that house completely energy independent, meaning no energy from anywhere else besides a small area, and we use this little range in Texas, which is 6.5, it would only take 7 meters squared of that energy to make the house completely energy independent. This is less than the size of the center of a soccer field, the center circle, that is. So why do we keep using fossil fuels? You can see on this graph from the Institute for Energy Research that we use 67.5% fossil fuels for energy consumption. The EIA, or Energy Information Administration, predicts that by 2030 we'll use up almost half of our saved resources of fossil fuels. It also predicts that by year 2040 we will be using 80% fossil fuels for energy consumption. Now they can see why solar energy is so important. Let's look into how solar panels actually work. So Gil Nair is a scientist at NASA, and he explained in an article the basics of solar panels. He explained that when sunlight hits a solar or photovoltaic cell, like this one, it goes in and hits a semiconductor material, such as silicone. So when it hits this material, a chemical reaction takes place, and the silicone will release electrons. Now, when you put a conductor to both sides of this, it'll run those electrons through the current, which makes an electric current, also known as electricity. Now, this is just one solar cell. The solar panels that we know today are arrays, and each array is made up of many modules, which is made up of many cells. So now that you understand how solar panels work, let's look at the current problem with its technology. Now, hypothetically speaking, using all of the sun's energy and converting it to electricity sounds great, but sadly this is not possible. Steve Byrnes, who has a PhD in physics from Harvard, explained how the maximum efficiency that we could possibly get from solar panels is 55%. This is because no matter what we do, we will lose efficiency to reflection and then to the environment by conduction, convection, and radiation. But there's also a problem. We're not even close to that 55% mark. 55% is still a lot of energy. Steve Byrnes said that if you wanted to buy an affordable solar panel, the highest efficiency that you're going to get is around 20%. Also, if you wanted to go all in and spend all the money, the highest possible efficiency you can buy is only 33%, and that's going to cost you around $100,000 for each meter squared. You can see here how much more solar energy costs than any of the non-renewable energies. And because of this, no one will ever have incentive to switch to solar energy unless we increase the efficiency and lower cost. So throughout this talk, I've told you about why solar energy is so important. Then I explained how solar panels work, and finally, I showed the problem with the current technology. The cost and inefficiency of solar panels do not allow us to take full advantage of the sun's potential energy. Now this is really important for the future, because in 40 years from now, when I'm driving my brand new Lamborghini, I don't want to wait an hour at the gas station. Instead, I could be going to a solar station for a quick recharge, and I promise you the sun's energy is not running out anytime soon. Thank you.